This week on a very special episode of Reuben's Indian Kitchen, we're paying homage to the guy on my shirt, Floyd Cardoz. Floyd Cardoz was an Indian American chef. He was born in Mumbai, where I'm from, and he came over here and he had restaurants in New York City, opened up Tabla. Tabla was a fine dining Indian restaurant. Now this is important for me in my journey as a chef because Floyd showed me that I could be more than just a regular chef. I've said it on the show before, when I first started cooking, I stayed away from Indian food because I didn't want to be the Indian guy that cooked Indian food. And as I've gotten older, I've started to really grow an appreciation for this cuisine, and Floyd was a big part of that. Floyd had two cookbooks, the most popular being Flavor Wala, and he also had Pal Wala, which is another restaurant that he had. He was also on Top Chef Masters and actually won the whole thing. So that was a pretty great moment for me in 2013 to see an Indian American chef win the show that is showcasing the best chefs in the world. So today we're going to be making two of his recipes that are perfect for summer, that are perfect for grilling season, that are perfect for parties. And we're going to be talking a little bit more about him along the way. So you guys are going to join me and we're going to get right to it over here. The first thing we're going to be making today is going to be chicken kebabs. Now kebabs, I know you guys are thinking of the kebabs that are on skewers. These are not the same things. These are more Middle Eastern kebabs, which are ground meat that usually you can put around a big, almost like, you wrap it around this big kind of sword looking like thing and you roast it over coals. We're going to be doing an easier version of that. I'm actually going to be doing it in a pan, so you can make this inside. But again, these recipes are for summer, for grilling, for chilling outside. So let's get right into it. Right here, I have 2 pounds of ground chicken. This is another thing, you can play around with your ground protein. If you want to do lamb, this would be amazing with lamb. All these flavors would work really well with lamb. Beef would even work. You would probably have to get a leaner cut of meat though. It wouldn't have to be 80-20. I would probably get 90-10. You can also use turkey if you want to be a little bit healthier. I'm using chicken because this is how Floyd's recipe is, and I'm not going to deviate too much from that except for just a couple of little changes here. His recipe has serranos. All I could find were jalapenos, so I put 2 jalapenos. I took out the veins, took out the seeds, and we're just going to be adding that into it here because I like things spicy. You guys already know that. I have 3 really small onions. The recipe says 1 large or 1/2 an onion. I cut them into really nice small dice here so it doesn't overtake, so you don't get those huge bites of onion. And I also have some mint right here, and I also have cilantro and ginger garlic paste. The recipe says ginger and garlic separate, but you guys know how much I love this little shortcut, having my ginger garlic paste here. So this is the easy part. You kind of just mix it all together. And I'm going to slice this up. So my first time hearing of Floyd Cardoz, it was when I saw him on Top Chef Masters in 2013. And it was the first time I'd ever seen an Indian chef that was referred to as like a master of his craft. So I started looking into him. And at that point, Tabla had already been closed. Tabla closed in 2010. But it was the first time in 1999 when he opened Tabla that fine dining American cuisine was kind of seen through this lens of Indian food and Indian flavors and culture. Let's throw this mint in there. That mint is really going to add a really cooling feeling to this whole kebab patty. So yeah, when he won Top Chef Master, I remember being like, oh, this dude's awesome. This dude is on another level. And at that point, I was still kind of staying away from Indian food a little bit, but it kind of made me proud to be an Indian American chef. And I just think it was very important for me at that time to see and have that role model. Obviously, you guys see I have the Anthony Bourdain candle here, so he's obviously a very big impact in my life. But yeah, Floyd was that guy. And let me tell you, if you guys ever have time after you guys finish watching this, go on YouTube, look up Floyd Cardoz, watch some of his recipes. Just watch some of his videos and just be inspired. So I'm gonna put just 2 nice big spoonfuls of this because I am doing double the recipe. Now this you just want to kind of mix together. I'm wearing gloves, safety first. I don't like touching raw chicken with my bare hands. It kind of grosses me out just a little bit. Anytime I touch any ground meat, I try to wear gloves. And I'm just gonna mix this thing until it's very well incorporated. With kebabs, it's not like meatballs where you don't wanna mix it too much. You kinda wanna make this a nice homogenized mixture, almost to the point where it looks like meatloaf. You want it to kind of have that whole meatloaf kind of texture and everything to it. And I'm just gonna go to the bottom of this bowl. I'm using my hand to just bring the bottom up so I know it's all incorporated. Now you wanna let this sit in your fridge for at least half an hour. We're just gonna let it sit for 10 minutes. While this is cooling down, we're gonna make another one of Floyd's recipe, and this one's fun because it includes alcohol, and you guys know how much I love to include alcohol, especially this season. Kelly was making fun of me this season because I've had a few episodes with alcohol this season, and it just makes it fun for you guys. It gets a little bit more, a little bit more wide variety of stuff. Here I have my pitcher that I have put in the fridge. I have it chilled off a little bit, and we're gonna make our drink. And because I am not a bartender, I have a little cheat sheet for my drink right here. Now, first thing you need, we're gonna be making a Tamarind Margarita. What is tamarind? Tamarind is a kind of the best way that I can describe it is almost like a paste when it comes out. I have concentrate. I like using concentrate. For me, it's just a little bit easier to use the concentrate, but Floyd's recipe has paste, and with the paste, you can just get the tamarind pulp from the store, and you can just, you would have to mix that with hot water and then run it through a kind of sieve to just get it nice and smooth. So the first thing you need here is 15 ounces, that's right, ounces of tequila. Right. All right. And I'm using Terramana. Shout out to The Rock. I'm a wrestling fan, so I had to represent a little bit. Here I have triple sec. If you don't have triple sec, you can also use Grand Marnier, which would be a little more expensive, but if you have it hanging around, great, because we know how Delaware is in Grand Marnier. Or you can use Cointreau. I use triple sec just because it's cheaper, quite honestly. And I'm going to use 10 ounces of this. All right. When I was thinking about doing an episode about Floyd, I knew this was going to be airing around summertime, so I was looking through his recipes, and he has a bunch of wonderful recipes. If you look on his website, there's so many more great recipes, so many more authentic recipes. This is a little bit more Americanized, a little bit more approachable for people to kind of use this recipe, like I said, during grilling season, if you're having a party over, to elevate your grilling game a little bit. The next thing I'm gonna add is just an ounce of our tamarind concentrate. See how dark and crazy that is? A little bit more, why not? And then you wanna put 20 ounces of lime juice. If you can do fresh, great, but I'm just using bottled because 20 ounces of lime juice is a lot. And I didn't want to juice 20 limes, and I don't think you guys wanted to see me juice 20 limes on camera. That would pretty much be the whole episode. So I got 16 ounces here. Oh no, I got a little spillage, it's okay. And I'm gonna do 4 more ounces of that. And then 4 ounces of orange juice. I'm just using, again, bottled orange juice. And we're just gonna turn on our pan over here. We're gonna get our pan preheating over here. And our last thing we need is our simple syrup. Simple syrup is just equal parts water and sugar. You bring a cup of water up to a boil, you add a cup of sugar, you stir it, you let it sit. I know you guys have seen the episode with Brian and Chad and some other of the bartender friends I've had on. You can infuse this with whatever you want. I even thought about throwing some cardamom seeds in here. You can throw some anise seeds in here, star anise, clove. I even thought about throwing some mint in here if you want to make mojitos. You're gonna have 4 ounces of this as well. All right. And look at that, perfectly fit in our pitcher. And I'm just gonna stir that up. Let me get a nice big spoon to stir that up with. You wanna make sure that tamarind concentrate really gets mixed up in there. And we're just gonna give this just a little taste, see where we are with sweetness. I don't like my drinks super sweet. To me, that's perfect. I don't think it needs to be any sweeter or any more than what it already is. That's great. And here, what I have right here is I took lime zest and I just mixed it with some sugar and some salt, and I just let it sit, and it kind of gets, what happens is the sugar and the salt pull out a lot of those natural oils and a lot of those natural juice, and you get almost kind of like this crumble. This is gonna go on our rim of our glass later. And I also just have some lime because you have to make your drink look pretty. You can't have a drink and have it not look pretty. Right, let me just get a little cleanup over here. I'm just throw some oil in our pan. I'm gonna get another glove because I'm gonna be handling these patties. So what you can also do with this whole recipe is you can patty these out, you can make them into logs, you can make them into whatever really shape you wanna make into. Floyd says to make it into patties though, so that's what we are gonna do. Now, if you had a scale, you could weigh these out, but we're just gonna kind of eye it out just a little bit. So I'm making little patties. You can totally put these in between some buns and have them as chicken burgers too. All right. I'm gonna throw these 4 into our fridge so these can sit for just a little bit longer. All right. I'm gonna make some patties right here. Our oil is starting to whisper a little bit to us, so we're gonna test it out here in just a second. I wish you guys could smell this right now. All right, we're gonna use a small one to test out our oil. Oh yeah. So we're just gonna throw these down. So while those are cooking, now I'm gonna season them just a little bit. You can mix these in if you want, but I like to cook these like burgers. I'm just gonna season with salt. Now I'm gonna throw a little bit of garam masala right on top. All right, we are moving right along. While these are cooking, we're just gonna smash those down just a little bit so they cook a little quicker. I'm going to show you how to garnish one of these guys. So you can take your lime, make a little cut right in the middle of it, and you want to kind of rim your glass. Then you're going to take this lime mix, you should just stick right to it, which it didn't. But you can just kind of put some on there, put the lime right on here. I'm gonna grab some ice from our freezer. Gotta slam that ice. Take out all your anger on that ice. And throw a few cubes in here. Now this chicken kebab, you could serve a lot of sauces with it. You could serve a mint chutney. And I'm just going to garnish it with just a little bit more of our lime sugar salt mix. I'm going to give that a nice little sip. Oh man, that tamarind gives this margarita such an elevated flavor to it. It really takes it from just that plain normal margarita, which is great, I'm not knocking a regular margarita, but this just adds just an extra level of this like sourness to it. It just adds just a really great flavor. All right. Move that away. Let me just get a rag here to wipe down our mess that I made earlier. Now, I was talking about sauces with this kebab, and I think you guys can make a bunch of different sauces, and I'm going to make a couple different sauces here in just a little bit that I think would pair really well with this. I'm going to do a soy sauce based sauce, and I'm also just going to do a spicy ketchup just because there's a sauce that you can get at the Indian store called Maggi sauce. And if any of my Indian friends are watching, or my mom and dad are watching, or my brother is watching, you guys know we always had a bottle of Maggi sauce in the fridge. All right, gonna put those, and I'm gonna season these sides as well with the garam masala, a little bit of salt. All right, keep it clean. Throw these right back in our fridge. And so I have some shredded mango pickle. This is a little bit sweeter. And then we're just gonna make a little soy-based sauce and a little cherry pepper ketchup. All right. So this mango pickle comes in a bunch of different varieties. This one is a little bit sweeter than you're really gonna see. The mango pickle that my mom used to get used to almost be like a fermented mango. This one is almost like mangoes cooked down in sugar, and it's almost more like a chutney than a pickle, I would say, but this is great texture. The mangoes kind of get chewy. It's a little bit salty. It's awesome. All right. Got a couple bowls. One of my favorite condiments ever is cherry pepper relish. I love cherry pepper relish because it's spicy, it has a little bit of acid to it. Right? And I like to use some of this oil right in here. And so I'm gonna just cut this up. Make sure you don't get those stems in there. All right. That is starting to smell fantastic. The garam masala just really fragrance the whole air around me. It kind of reminds me of what my mom's house used to smell like. All right. Put that right in here. And then we're just gonna throw a nice couple squirts of our ketchup in here. 1, 2. And that's it for that sauce. Easy peasy. We're just gonna finish it off with a little bit of lime juice, just to freshen up the whole sauce. That little stir. Perfect. Let's check our guys right here. Do one more little flip. There you go. You see that color? All right. Now I'm going to use some soy sauce in here. Just because I think all these flavors really lend itself well to what we're doing. I'm just gonna grab just a little bit more mint. Now, if you have scallions hanging around, cilantro hanging around, 100% put that in there. I'm gonna put a little bit of our ginger garlic paste. And I'm just gonna cut up our mint. All right. And we're almost close to plating this whole thing up. I'm gonna throw a little bit of oil in there. Just a little bit. And if you want to add some red chili flake at this point, go right ahead. Give it a little taste on our finger. Beautiful, perfect. And I'm going to take 2 of our patties off right now. All right. Take that off to the side. Now again, this on the grill I think would be so perfect. I cannot mention that enough. So you can look on the inside there. It almost you can see all of the beautiful layers. You can see the jalapeno, the onion, everything in there is really, really coming out. And the flavor, it's so good. I think it's just a touch more salt. And then to plate it up, I'm gonna grab one of our small plates. All right, I'm gonna take one of our big patties here, put it right in the middle. And I have both my sauces here. We're gonna just take a nice little dollop of our cherry pepper ketchup. And then we're also gonna just take some of our sauce right here and just ladle it on one side so you can get a little bit of the taste of both of them. And because I think everything is better with just a little bit of acid, I'm gonna put just a little wedge of lime right on here. There you go. So we have our chicken patty with our little Asian marinade sauce and the cherry pepper ketchup. We have our Tamarind Margarita, both recipes that are inspired by Floyd Cardoz, chef extraordinaire. Like I said, unfortunately he passed away in 2020 to COVID. It was a really big deal for me because, again, I had never really seen an Indian chef of that popularity and of that, you know, he was just so high up. So for me, it was a big moment for me when I finally saw him on TV. So when he passed away, it was a big deal. My brother reached out to me, my dad reached out to me. So I actually wore this shirt a few weeks ago to the Celebrity Jazz Brunch, and I got noticed by this shirt, and a chef said, hey, he was actually a really good friend of mine. He was such a nice guy. He was so great. It's such a shame he's not around anymore. Like, thank you for wearing that shirt. You know, it's really nice to see that his legacy is still moving on. So I hope you guys get to try these recipes. I hope you guys get to taste them and you elevate your grilling game this summer. And while you're grilling, you think about Floyd, you guys think about the Cardoz family, and you guys are staying safe out there. Thank you guys for tuning in. Enjoy.